Caitlyn Clark's golf debut just made me so upset with the WNBA.
Caitlyn Clark's golf debut was more than just a sporting event. It was a groundbreaking moment in women's sports. But what left me feeling truly frustrated was how the WNBA completely missed the mark.
Because the LPGA just did everything that the WNBA should have been doing this season.
Watching the LPGA embrace Clark in a way that the WNBA should have, I couldn't help but feel that the potential of Caitlyn Clark was being overlooked by the very league that helped launch her into superstardom. In the midst of her unforgettable LPGA Pro-Am performance, Clark once again proved why she is more than just a basketball icon. She's a cultural force. The real question is, why isn't the WNBA recognizing this? When Caitlyn Clark stepped onto the golf course at the LPGA Pro-Am, she wasn't just participating in another celebrity event, she was making waves. The excitement surrounding her debut was palpable. Fans from across the world, from basketball lovers to golf enthusiasts, turned their attention to the tournament, and for good reason. Caitlyn Clark's undeniable star power and magnetic personality were on full display, captivating everyone from young fans to seasoned sports veterans. But what happened after that? While Clark's participation in the LPGA event was celebrated, the WNBA, the league that helped propel her to fame.
This event, I have only seen and heard of positive things. I didn't hear one thing about how her fans are toxic. I didn't hear one thing about there being too much.
Remained eerily silent. What was most frustrating was the fact that the WNBA seemed entirely disengaged with Clark's remarkable crossover into golf. While the LPGA capitalized on the buzz surrounding her debut, promoting her like royalty, the WNBA did absolutely nothing. Not a single tweet, post, or acknowledgement from the league about their star player making history on the golf course.
That are there. We didn't hear any of that.
How could the WNBA fail to recognize an opportunity to elevate their star, especially at a time when she was attracting global attention? This silence wasn't just a missed opportunity, it was a glaring oversight. While the LPGA was gaining millions of new fans by shining a spotlight on Caitlyn, the WNBA seemed hesitant to embrace the very thing that could catapult women's basketball into the mainstream. The LPGA was not only smart, they were strategic. By pairing Caitlyn Clark with Nelly Korda, the world's top-ranked female golfer, they created a dynamic duo that captivated the attention of both basketball and golf fans alike.
Rant video. I honestly just got so triggered by Caitlyn Clark's golf debut.
This wasn't an accident. It was a meticulously calculated move to highlight the appeal of Caitlyn Clark while also showcasing the talent of Nelly Korda. The LPGA made Caitlyn the centerpiece of the event, and the results were explosive. Photos, videos, and highlights of Caitlyn and Nelly flooded social media. Fans from various sports shared their excitement, creating a buzz that transcended traditional sports boundaries. Social media platforms like Twitter were alive with chatter, and the LPGA's promotional efforts ensured that Caitlyn's presence was felt everywhere. Viewership numbers soared, merchandise sales spiked, and the event itself was elevated to an unprecedented level of importance. Now, let's compare this to the WNBA.
And it is no fault of hers that I got upset. It is the fault of the WNBA.
While the LPGA was maximizing the value of Caitlyn Clark's stardom, the WNBA remained frustratingly passive. Critics have long argued that the WNBA's marketing strategy is outdated and, at times, downright counterproductive. By not highlighting Caitlyn as the primary attraction, the league squandered an opportunity to boost viewership and grow its audience. Instead of celebrating Caitlyn's success and using her to draw in new fans, the WNBA remained silent, and fans quickly noticed. Some have speculated that the league's reluctance to promote Caitlyn was due to its philosophy of spreading the spotlight evenly across all players. While this may sound fair, it ignores the reality that Caitlyn Clark is a once-in-a-generation talent whose star power can bring significant attention to the entire league.
In a previous video, how this Pro-Am event originally wasn't even going to be televised, but there were so many fans who...
Instead of embracing her as a marquee player, the WNBA chose to take a backseat as the LPGA drove full speed ahead with Caitlyn as the face of their event. It's not just about Caitlyn Clark. This moment highlights a larger issue within women's sports marketing. The LPGA showed the world how to build a story, to capitalize on the star power of an athlete, and to elevate an entire sport. They didn't just let Caitlyn participate, they made her the focal point of their event, and it worked. This is the kind of strategic thinking the WNBA desperately needs to adopt if it wants to grow its brand and expand its fan base.
We're emailing the organization saying, how can we watch Caitlyn? Can we come to the event? Can you live stream it? All of these things. And it ended up being put on.
In the world of sports marketing, the LPGA's handling of Caitlyn Clark's debut at their Pro-Am event was a masterclass in strategy and execution. The way they capitalized on Caitlyn's star power was not just about elevating one athlete, but about crafting a narrative that connected multiple fan bases: basketball, golf, and general sports enthusiasts. The LPGA didn't treat Caitlyn's appearance as a typical celebrity event. Instead, they paired her with Nelly Korda, the world's top-ranked golfer, creating a compelling storyline that captured the attention of sports fans from various corners of the globe.
Fans were really excited about that. There was so much buzz online. She was trending on Twitter, all of the things.
This strategic pairing of Caitlyn Clark with Nelly Korda wasn't mere happenstance. It was a calculated move by the LPGA to maximize the event's impact. Caitlyn, already a household name in women's basketball, brought an enormous amount of attention to the event, while Nelly, being the top golfer in the world, brought credibility and prestige. This partnership created a synergy that captivated audiences from multiple demographics. Whether you were a fan of basketball, golf, or simply a lover of great sports moments, the LPGA succeeded in creating a buzz that transcended traditional sport boundaries. Moreover, the LPGA's handling of the event wasn't limited to just the on-field action.
All of the things. And the LPGA was promoting the crap out of this event. And they also did something really smart by pairing her up with their currently.
They leveraged social media, traditional media, and fan engagement in a way that amplified the excitement surrounding Caitlyn's appearance. Photos of Caitlyn interacting with Nelly, signing autographs, and engaging with fans went viral, generating social media engagement and bringing in new viewers who might never have previously tuned into women's golf. In doing so, the LPGA not only elevated Caitlyn, but also raised the profile of women's golf as a whole. This event was a shining example of how women's sports organizations
Korda. So there are photos of Caitlyn and Nelly literally everywhere, and the LPGA was so smart.
Can leverage the star power of individual athletes to attract more attention, elevate their sport, and engage new audiences. By putting Caitlyn at the center of the conversation, the LPGA demonstrated the profound impact that celebrating athletes can have. The result: increased viewership, higher engagement, and more exposure for not just Caitlyn, but for women's golf and the LPGA as a whole. This is the type of momentum that can transform a sport and create lasting impact. Now, when we look at the WNBA's approach to marketing its stars, the contrast is glaring. While Caitlyn Clark is making waves across multiple sports, her home league, the WNBA, has been notably slow to embrace her and other rising stars in the way that the LPGA has.
And the LPGA was so smart in doing this because they knew that there would be so many eyeballs on Caitlyn. So if they put their #1 golfer...
Caitlyn's talent and influence extend beyond just basketball. Her appeal is universal. Her ability to capture the attention of fans from all walks of life is undeniable. And yet the WNBA has been hesitant to lean into this. The WNBA's marketing strategy is rooted in a philosophy of promoting collective talent, often spreading the spotlight evenly among players. While this approach is understandable, it ensures that the league's overall talent pool gets recognition.
And pushing the sport ahead. If they put her next to Caitlyn for the entire event, that's just great. It's great for Nelly and it's great for everyone.
It can sometimes prevent individual players like Caitlyn from receiving the full attention they deserve. The reality is that Caitlyn Clark is a unique talent, one who can elevate the profile of the entire league. Yet the WNBA has struggled to fully tap into that potential. In contrast, the LPGA's approach has been proactive, with an unflinching focus on the value of star power. By putting Caitlyn at the center of the Pro-Am event, they not only elevated her, but also increased visibility for the entire sport. The WNBA, however, seems hesitant to fully embrace its stars in a similar fashion. This hesitancy has led many to wonder whether the league is missing a golden opportunity to promote its most exciting players and attract new fans. If the WNBA is to remain competitive and relevant in an ever-changing sports landscape, it needs to reassess its approach to marketing. The LPGA's success with Caitlyn Clark shows that when leagues embrace and highlight their most marketable athletes, the results can be transformative. Viewership increases, social media engagement soars, and new fans are brought into the fold. The WNBA now faces a critical decision. Will they continue to hold back and miss opportunities to build their brand? Or will they follow the LPGA's lead and fully embrace the star power of players like Caitlyn Clark? Caitlyn Clark's appearance at the LPGA Pro-Am was not just another celebrity cameo. It was a wake-up call for women's sports organizations everywhere. It highlighted how important it is for leagues to recognize the value of star athletes and to strategically market them in ways that benefit both the athlete and the sport. The LPGA's handling of Caitlyn's debut has proven that when you put your athletes front and center, the results can be spectacular. This event wasn't just about Caitlyn, it was about elevating women's sports as a whole. Now the WNBA finds itself at a crossroads. Will they continue with their cautious marketing strategy, or will they seize the opportunity to build their brand by fully embracing Caitlyn Clark's potential? The league has an incredibly talented roster of athletes, but if they don't capitalize on their star power, they risk being left behind as other leagues like the LPGA continue to evolve and grow their fan bases. The WNBA needs to understand that celebrating individual stars doesn't detract from the collective talent of the league. It enhances it. Caitlyn Clark's star power can drive interest in the league and attract new fans, and by embracing her, the WNBA can bring greater visibility to the entire sport of women's basketball. The LPGA's success with Caitlyn provides a clear blueprint for how this can be done. The WNBA now has the chance to follow suit and create a similar narrative that will not only benefit Caitlyn, but will also elevate the entire league. Caitlyn Clark's appearance at the LPGA Pro-Am was a powerful demonstration of how women's sports can thrive when leagues embrace the potential of their athletes. The LPGA was able to take Caitlyn's crossover appeal and turn it into a moment that resonated across multiple sports, bringing in new fans and increasing visibility for women's golf. It was a win for Caitlyn, a win for the LPGA, and a win for women's sports in general. For the WNBA, the ball is now in their court. The success of the LPGA's marketing strategy should serve as a wake-up call for the league. If the WNBA is serious about building its brand and attracting more fans, it must take bold steps to promote its stars, especially Caitlyn Clark. The league has an opportunity to create a narrative that elevates the entire sport, but this will only happen if they recognize the value of star power and fully embrace it. Caitlyn Clark's moment at the LPGA Pro-Am wasn't just a reminder of her talent. It was a clear example of what can happen when organizations understand the power of effective marketing. The WNBA has the chance to take a page from the LPGA's playbook and transform their league into a powerhouse. But the question remains, will they seize the moment? The future of the WNBA and the future of women's basketball may very well depend on it.